Last night, we exposed a former St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office Deputy of the Year who was caught fudging DWI reports, raising questions about dozens of arrests.
Sheriff Randy Smith, who never investigated it as a crime, responded to the report this afternoon, asking the state attorney general to review the case.
In tonight's Law and Disorder, investigative reporter Katie Moore uncovers another problematic pattern that has at times left the district attorney's office in the dark.
Right foot, place it on your left, just like this.
This cell phone video shows former St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Deputy Ricky Steinert administering a field sobriety test to off-duty National Guard soldier Ryan Hyde. Unlike the video, Steinert's report on the arrest says Hyde used his arms to maintain his balance, fell out of step and wobbled on 2 of the 3 main parts of the test.
It made me think the guy was deranged or something. I mean, I'm like, none of this happened.
Hi, I'm Dan Abrams, and this is our control center at A&E Network headquarters in New York City. This is Live PD.
Steinert was featured on the reality TV show Live PD. He was named Deputy of the Year shortly after he arrested Ryan Hyde, before the video came to light. He resigned under the cloud of an internal investigation into the whole thing. St. Tammany Sheriff Randy Smith launched an administrative investigation, but this report says Steinert's case was closed without a criminal investigation.
We would have to look at it in a different aspect on a criminal matter to decide whether we want to pursue criminal charges or let another agency look at it so there's no conflict.
Has that been done?
On that particular case, no, it has not.
Why not?
Because it's not criminal. I didn't see it as a criminal act. I'm the firing authority as the sheriff.
Louisiana law prohibits filing false public records, yet investigators say they found Steinert had, quote, fabricated the facts pertaining to the arrest. We found at least 3 of Steinert's DWI arrest reports, including Hyde's, contained identical language except for the names.
What should not happen is for the sheriff to make the unilateral decision that this is to go no further.
Not only was the DA not consulted on whether or not Steinert should be prosecuted, emails show the DA had to ask the sheriff several times what the internal investigation had found.
Is there a procedure in place where the sheriff is supposed to tell you when there's an officer that's a problem cop?
I don't think that there's a formal procedure in the sense that paperwork that you fill out, but they are supposed to tell me, and they know that.
Critics say the Steinert case is not isolated. Smith's former chief deputy, Fred Oswald, filed a whistleblower lawsuit against Smith in January over allegations Smith fired him for sending the results of an internal affairs investigation to the DA in the case of another problem deputy.
I had discussions and made statements that this deputy needs to be investigated by someone, either by us or another agency. And that's where the cover-up and the stalling and things of that sort started.
Smith denies that. Oswald's lawsuit doesn't name the deputy involved, but it does spell out circumstances similar to the case involving former Deputy Kenneth Salajeski. Smith fired Salajeski last March for allegedly taking drugs seized in traffic stops and giving them to his girlfriend. Covington Police Chief Tim Lentz says Salajeski asked him for a job shortly after he was fired from STPSO. Lentz says Salajeski, quote, admitted quite frankly that he took dope off 2 people and gave it to his drug-addicted girlfriend, who he's absolutely in love with. Lentz says he asked Salajeski, why aren't you in jail? And according to Lentz, Salajeski replied, they didn't want to fool with it. The DA eventually indicted Salajeski on 2 counts of malfeasance and 2 counts of distributing marijuana. Oswald says he was fired for giving an internal affairs file to the DA in a case where a deputy was accused of stealing drugs from traffic stops and giving them to his girlfriend.
But did it take prodding? Did they have to ask multiple times to get information about these cases? I mean, even in the Steinert emails, it seems to indicate that.
There was one case, and that's the one that's still under criminal investigation. I'm not really allowed to talk on right now. And I understand there's also a civil litigation involving the same case. The information you've been provided is false.
Emails between the sheriff's office and the DA's office about deputies Steinert and Salajeski tell a different story. In June of last year, the DA's criminal chief Colin Sims told the sheriff and his top brass, quote, I have not received the results of your IA investigation into Ricky Steinert. As you're aware, we need to make an official disclosure to the defense in cases that he worked. He goes on to say, quote, "We are learning of officer resignation too often from Facebook and not from a formalized process."
I have 2 detectives that work for me who I pay their salary and benefits, who are assigned to that DA's office, who get every information they need or have ever requested in any case or anything we do here at the Sheriff's Office.
Well, Colin Sims in an email said that he's finding out about these deputies leaving on Facebook.
That's his problem.
I'm finding out about these officers too much on Facebook as opposed to getting notified from the sheriff's office. Is that a problem?
It's not a problem now.
The emails also refer to other cases where the DA's office wasn't notified about potentially criminal activity involving deputies. Deputies like Nathan Stokes. Internal investigators found Stokes took a sheriff's office taser like this one and sold it online. A third-party seller actually sold that taser coincidentally back to another St. Tammany Parish deputy. Termination paperwork says internal investigators found Stokes engaged in criminal or immoral conduct by using his public office for private gain, improperly used equipment, and falsified records. Stokes' official response says he doesn't know how he got the taser and that he didn't falsify records to say it was issued to him by the department. Stokes declined to comment for this story.
He was fired last February, but again, no criminal investigation was ever launched.
My job is to come in and identify any of these situations, any complaints, make sure that we investigate them to the fullest and take the necessary and appropriate action against them.
Last month, we requested the personnel files of Stokes and 3 other St. Tammany Parish deputies who were investigated internally. We have yet to receive them. Katie Moore, Eyewitness News.
The sheriff's statement this afternoon said Montgomery agreed with the decision to have the AG review the Steinert case. And you can read more about this story online or from Sarah Pagones in tomorrow's edition of the New Orleans Advocate.